Hi everyone. I wanted to share the announcements for this week and also for week 5 since we are coming up on a spring break soon. So taking a look at the Wilmington University academic calendar, our spring break officially begins on April 7th and then classes resume on the 15th. However, there is an option for online classes to adjust that schedule accordingly. And because we actually begin on a Monday and end on a Sunday, we're a little bit interrupted with the spring break. So here's the way it's going to work. Today is the 27th. We begin week 4. You're going to go through the whole module and submit your assignments Sunday, as usual, on April 2nd. Then we will head into week 5. So I'll post the announcement Sunday night or Monday for week 5, and you can begin working on week 5 through the 7th when the official break begins from the 8th through the 15th. Now, if you'd like to take the 7th or any of those other days, if you're traveling, I understand that would be fine. That's the beauty and flexibility of online learning. But you do officially have 1 week where nothing is required, and that is from the 8th through the 15th. So all of week 5 you can work on before Easter or after Easter. I've honored both the traditional Easter Sunday as well as the Orthodox Sunday, which is the following week on the 16th. But then all assignments are due on Sunday the 16th for week 5. Okay, so I hope that clarifies everything for you. If you have any questions, feel free to email me. I do want to go over some of the assignments for each of those weeks so you can get started. Many of you are working ahead, and I just want to be clear on what is expected. So take a look at this week, March 27th through April 2nd. We're including 3 activities that will prepare you for the flipped classroom models that will be created and submitted in week 5. And I say models because there are 2. One is an actual video lesson. The other is an activity created with a web tool. They're 2 separate activities. The scaffolding is the preparation and practice activities that will prepare you for these actual productions that will be in week 5. Let's take a look. The first one is producing a short video, editing it to create a 5x5 with a title, captions, transitions, music, or sound effects. You can really have fun with this. It's a practice to improve your editing skills for when you actually prepare your flipped video next time in week 5. So this week you can have fun. It's a beautiful time of year for going outside in the spring and taking some videos and putting them together. Take a look online for the details. There's also an example of a nature trail walk that I took last year or the year before and produced a little 5x5, and there's also plenty of examples on Vimeo if you want to go out and look at more definitions of what this is. The next thing is to actually create a lesson plan for your flipped video recording. So this is your standard lesson plan. I received many of formats for the coding lesson plan. There are some suggested lesson plan templates, but whatever you use, please keep it organized in a methodical sense, maybe color coding, outlining, or putting in some boxes. Some of you have some beautiful templates, very easy and clear to follow through. But essentially, the key elements are required in terms of how you're preparing this lesson to record for your students. This is not a synchronous lesson. This is asynchronous, where they're going to listen watch it, view it, and interact with it on their own anytime outside of the classroom. And then I'll also share possibilities for those who may not have access at home and how you can create a faux flipped video recording for them and allow them time during the school day within the school building. But in any case, there are some criteria. Basically, you want to have the beginning, middle, and end with your learning goals, your materials and supplies you'll be using, even include the setting, the setup, and how you're going to prepare for this recording. And then, of course, the content focus. What is your lesson? What's the preparation that you're going to take the students through in the lesson? Now, most flip video lessons are introductions to a concept where you're providing a lot of information, and then the students take that information and do something with it when they come back into the classroom. They're ready, they've learned the material. However, you can choose to make it a reinforcement or a review, any way that you want to incorporate that into your real curriculum. So you're not actually going to be creating the video in week 4. You are just thinking about your lesson. It can be a lesson you've maybe already planned but haven't executed, and now you can turn it into a video recording and use it as your flipped video. But you're not going to actually record the video until you hand in the lesson plan and then in the following week. Now, again, you're working ahead, so you can always send your materials ahead for previewing and feedback from me. So in addition to getting a little editing, video production skills for getting ready to actually create a video in week 5, you're also then planning and preparing your lesson for the video. The second flipped classroom model is actually not necessarily a video, but it's using one of those web interactive collaborative tools that you've been looking at these past couple of weeks in your Diigo research, bookmarking, as well as your VoiceThread highlighting your favorite 5. Even if you've already used some of these, then you may want to take this time to find a fresh new one that you can actually explore and spend time for this particular assignment. If you have never used Padlet before, it's a great one to try, and it allows you to then create the activity where students are contributing, collaborating on their own time at their own pace according to your guidelines for when the assignment is due. But it's not necessarily asynchronous. The same thing with Nearpod. It's not that you're delivering it and everybody's doing it at the same time. It's something you've prepared, you're going to put it out there, and then they're actually going to embrace it and do it. You can include your directions in there. However, this week you're not actually going to create the activity, so I don't want to confuse you. This week you're just going to look for what is that web tool I want to use, I want to try, and then identify it, download it, play around with it, try out all the features, let your friends try it, let your kids try it, not your students, but your own children if you would like. And then think about what activity you're going to plan, because you're actually going to create it for week 5 to submit, all in and of itself, separate from your video. So this week, all you have to do for the assignment is tell me what web tool you're going to use and what features you might use, how you're going to use it. Just a little description, not a lesson plan, just a short description, because this is not a full-fledged lesson. This is just an activity that you can embed into a lesson. And then in week 5, you'll have plenty of time, with all that time in between, to really begin to put together what your video is going to be about, and then even recording your video. Beginning on April 3rd, you'll get all the information, look online, and then you actually will submit it on the 16th. So 2 assignments are due this week. The actual link to the portfolio. This particular week 4, you're not linking anything to the wiki portfolio, but next week in week 5, you will create these 2 assignments and link them. And the first one is your actual instructional video for the flipped classroom lesson. You'll record it, you'll edit it, you'll polish it up the best you can, add any interactives in there that you want, and then post it on your wiki and submit the link. That's on April 16th, it's due. You can also send me a preview or a trial and let me look at it before you officially submit it, if you would like feedback, or get it in early. So if it is before the deadline date and I have feedback and you want to change it, you can feel free to do that. But once it's in on the 16th, then you get what you get. Okay, so the next assignment that'll be linked to your portfolio is separate. That is your activity using your interactive collaborative web tool that you explored last week. Include instructions in it. Now, with that being said, this is an independent activity. Can be for a different lesson. It can be related to the instructional flipped classroom lesson that you just prepared. It can be a supplement to it. It can be a follow-up. It can be a prelude to it. But basically, it's going to be independent. You're not going to put it in the flipped classroom video. Now, at the end, if you're going to use it as a follow-up practice for the students, you can give directions at the very end of your flipped classroom. But then you would actually include that in your lesson plans. So that would be something you might want to go back and think about. That's kind of why I'm putting these things together for you ahead of time, because they do build on top of one another. So you're going to have all the skills to edit your video. You'll have the lesson plan to create the video. You'll actually set up and create it wherever you choose to. And then you will publish it and then submit the link. And don't submit the direct link in your assignments. Make sure you put it in your PB Wiki and then submit the wiki link. And the same with your activity. It's a separate link. So if you do something on Nearpod, make sure it's public. Make sure I'll be able to get into it and see it from the teacher's end. And then provide me with that link through your wiki. And I think that's it. That's everything I wanted to share with you. We'll just go back and look at the calendar again to see the dates and how things are going to work out. I will be offering some virtual chat meetings if you would like to have a live chat and go over anything related to any of these assignments or your final project for the course we can talk about as well. I'll put out a few dates for that. And I'll look forward to your submissions. In the meantime, get ready to gear up for a wonderful, relaxing spring break. Take some time for yourself. And then let's see the best flipped video interactive web activity you can do. It's going to get really fun towards the end of this course. Take care.